In a distant corner of the galaxy, humanity had finally achieved their long-held dream of interstellar travel. The United Nations Interstellar Colonization Agency, UNICA, had identified a habitable planet orbiting a star system just a few light-years away from the predator species' homeworld. The planet, named Novus, was a lush green world with vast oceans, dense forests, and a breathable atmosphere. It seemed like the perfect place for humans to establish their first extrasolar colony. A team of brave pioneers, led by Captain Alex Turner, embarked on the perilous journey to Novus. They knew the risks involved, especially with the proximity to the predator species territory, but they were determined to make history and secure a new home for humanity among the stars. As the human colonists settled on Novus and began building their new lives, they remained vigilant of the potential threat posed by the nearby predator species. The predators were known throughout the galaxy as fearsome warriors, with advanced technology and an insatiable appetite for conquest. Many species had fallen prey to their relentless attacks, and the humans knew they could be next. Despite the looming danger, the human colonists worked tirelessly to establish their settlement on Novus. They built homes, farms, and infrastructure, all while keeping a watchful eye on the skies above. They knew that the predators could strike at any moment, and they had to be ready. One fateful day, their worst fears were realized. A massive predator warship appeared in the skies above Novus, casting an ominous shadow over the human settlement. The colonists watched in horror as smaller ships detached from the main vessel and began descending towards the planet's surface. Captain Alex Turner quickly mobilized the colony's defenses, preparing for the inevitable attack. He knew that the predators were technologically superior and had vast combat experience, but he refused to let his people go down without a fight. As the predator ships landed and their warriors emerged, the human colonists braced themselves for the worst. They had heard stories of the predators' brutality and savagery, and they knew that mercy was not a part of their culture. The predators rushed towards the human settlement, their weapons drawn and their eyes filled with malice. Captain Turner and his team took up defensive positions, ready to protect their new home at all costs. The first wave of predators clashed with the human defenders, and the sound of gunfire and explosions filled the air. The humans fought bravely, but they were quickly overwhelmed by the predators' superior strength and technology. Just as all hope seemed lost, Captain Turner noticed something strange. One of the predator warriors, who seemed to be their leader, had become separated from the rest of the group. The warrior was injured and pinned down by enemy fire. In a moment of unexpected compassion, Captain Turner made a decision that would change the course of history. Instead of taking advantage of the predator's vulnerability and killing him, the captain ordered his men to provide cover fire while he rushed to the predator's aid. The human colonists watched in disbelief as their leader helped the injured predator to safety, risking his own life in the process. The predator leader, stunned by this act of kindness, called off the attack and ordered his warriors to stand down. As the smoke cleared and the dust settled, Captain Turner and the predator leader stood face to face, both unsure of what would happen next. Little did they know, this unexpected act of compassion would be the first step in forging an unlikely alliance that would change the galaxy forever. In the aftermath of the unexpected turn of events, the human colonists and the predator warriors found themselves in a state of uneasy truce. Captain Alex Turner's act of compassion towards the injured predator leader had caught everyone off guard, and neither side knew quite how to proceed. The predator leader, known as Zorax, was deeply puzzled by the humans' actions. In his culture, mercy was seen as a weakness, and the strong were expected to dominate the weak. Yet this human had risked his own life to save an enemy. It was a concept that Zorax had never encountered before. As the days passed, Captain Turner and Zorax began to communicate with each other, using a rudimentary translation device that the humans had developed. They shared stories of their respective worlds and cultures, and slowly, a bond began to form between them. The other predators, however, were not so easily swayed. They saw Zorax's growing friendship with the human leader as a betrayal of their ways and a sign of weakness. They began to plot against him, determined to take control of the situation and wipe out the human colonists once and for all. Meanwhile, the human colonists were also divided on how to proceed. Some saw the developing relationship between Captain Turner and Zorax as a potential path to peace, while others remained deeply suspicious of the predators and their intentions. As tensions mounted on both sides, Captain Turner and Zorax knew they had to act fast. They began to work together in secret, sharing information and resources in an effort to bridge the gap between their two species. They organized a series of meetings between the human colonists and the predator warriors, hoping to foster understanding and trust. At first, the meetings were tense and unproductive, with both sides eyeing each other warily across the negotiating table. But as time passed and the two leaders continued to work tirelessly towards their goal, something began to shift. The humans and predators started to see each other in a new light, not as enemies, but as potential allies. They began to share their knowledge and skills, with the humans teaching the predators about their advanced technology, and the predators sharing their combat expertise and tactical knowledge. Slowly but surely, the two groups began to work together, pooling their resources and talents to build a stronger, more resilient community on Novus. However, not everyone was happy with this new arrangement. The predators who had plotted against Zorax saw the growing alliance as a threat to their way of life, and they began to mobilize their forces in secret, preparing for a final showdown. Captain Turner and Zorax knew that they were running out of time. They had to find a way to unite their people and stand together against the coming storm. They began to plan a daring mission, one that would test the limits of their newfound friendship and the strength of their alliance. As the sun set over the lush green forests of Novus, the human colonists and the predator warriors gathered together, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They knew that the road to peace would not be easy, but they were determined to see it through, no matter the cost. And so, with Captain Turner and Zorax leading the way, the unlikely allies set out to change the course of history and prove that even the most unexpected of friendships could transform the galaxy forever. As the alliance between the human colonists and the predator warriors grew stronger, Zorax found himself increasingly at odds with his own people. The other predators, led by a fierce warrior named Kragos, saw Zorax's friendship with Captain Alex Turner as a betrayal of their culture and a sign of weakness. Kragos and his followers began to plot against Zorax and the humans, determined to wipe out the colony on Novus and restore the predator's reputation as the most feared warriors in the galaxy. They secretly gathered weapons and ships, preparing for a brutal assault on the unsuspecting allies. Zorax, however, was not blind to the growing threat within his own ranks. He knew that he had to act fast to protect his new friends and prevent a catastrophic war from engulfing the planet. He reached out to Captain Turner, and together they began to devise a plan to expose Kragos and his treachery. The two leaders worked tirelessly to gather evidence of Kragos' plot, risking their lives to infiltrate his inner circle and uncover his plans. They knew that they had to be careful, for if Kragos discovered their efforts, he would not hesitate to kill them both. As they delved deeper into the conspiracy, Zorax and Captain Turner realized that they needed to win over the hearts and minds of their respective peoples. They knew that the only way to truly defeat Kragos was to show the humans and predators that there was another way, a path of peace and cooperation. They began to hold secret meetings with trusted members of both communities, sharing their vision of a united future and the benefits that could come from working together. Slowly but surely, they began to build a network of supporters, individuals who believed in the power of friendship and the possibility of a better tomorrow. But time was running out. Kragos' forces were growing stronger by the day, and it was only a matter of time before he launched his attack. Zorax and Captain Turner knew that they had to act fast, and they began to put their plan into motion. They organized a massive gathering, inviting both humans and predators to come together and hear their message of unity. As the two leaders stood before the crowd, They spoke with passion and conviction, urging their peoples to put aside their differences and work together for the common good. At first, there was resistance and skepticism. Many on both sides still harbored deep-seated mistrust and animosity towards each other. But as Zorax and Captain Turner continued to speak, something began to change. The humans and predators began to see each other in a new light, not as enemies, but as potential friends and allies. They started to realize that they had more in common than they had previously thought, and that by working together, they could achieve great things. As the momentum began to build, Kragos and his followers grew increasingly desperate. They knew that if they did not act soon, their plans would be ruined. In a last-ditch effort to seize control, they launched a surprise attack on the gathering, hoping to catch the humans and predators off guard. But Zorax and Captain Turner were ready. With the help of their supporters, they quickly mobilized their forces and fought back against Kragos' attack. The battle was fierce and bloody, but in the end, the Alliance emerged victorious. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the humans and predators stood together, united in their determination to build a better future. They knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, side by side. And so, with Zorax and Captain Turner leading the way, the alliance between the humans and predators grew stronger than ever, a shining beacon of hope and unity in a galaxy too often torn apart by conflict and strife. In the aftermath of their victory over Kragos and his followers, the alliance between the humans and predators entered a new era of cooperation and shared purpose. Captain Alex Turner and Zorax, now widely recognized as the leaders of their respective peoples, set out to build a future in which both species could thrive together. One of the first challenges they faced was how to integrate their vastly different technologies and knowledge bases. The humans, with their advanced scientific understanding and innovative engineering, had much to offer the predators in terms of medicine, agriculture, and infrastructure. The predators, in turn, possessed unparalleled combat skills and tactical expertise, honed over centuries of warfare and conquest. Captain Turner and Zorax knew that by combining their strengths, they could create a society that was greater than the sum of its parts. They established joint research teams and training programs, where human scientists and predator warriors could learn from each other and develop new technologies and strategies. At first, progress was slow, as both sides struggled to overcome their inherent differences and long-held prejudices. But as time passed and the collaborations began to bear fruit, the humans and predators started to see each other in a new light. The humans marveled at the predators' incredible strength and resilience, their ability to endure the harshest of conditions and emerge victorious. They began to incorporate predator battle tactics into their own military training, creating a new generation of soldiers who were as cunning as they were brave. The predators, in turn, were amazed by the humans' ingenuity and adaptability, their capacity for innovation and problem-solving. They started to adopt human medical techniques and agricultural practices, improving the health and well-being of their own people in ways they had never thought possible. As the alliance grew stronger, so too did the bonds between individual humans and predators. Friendships and even romantic relationships began to blossom as the two species learned to appreciate and cherish each other's unique qualities and perspectives. Captain Turner and Zorax led by example, working tirelessly to foster understanding and cooperation between their peoples. They organized joint cultural events and celebrations where humans and predators could come together to share their art, music, and traditions. Slowly but surely, the alliance began to transform the very fabric of society on Novus. The once separate human and predator settlements began to merge and intermingle, creating vibrant, diverse communities that thrived on the exchange of ideas and resources. The effects of this transformation soon began to ripple outward as news of the alliance spread throughout the galaxy. Other species who had long feared the predators and their warlike ways were astonished to learn of the peace and prosperity that had taken root on Novus. Some saw the alliance as a threat, a powerful new force that could upset the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. Others, however, saw it as a beacon of hope, a shining example of what could be achieved when different species put aside their differences and worked together for the common good. As the alliance continued to grow and evolve, Captain Turner and Zorax knew that they had set in motion something truly remarkable. They had shown that even the most unlikely of partnerships could flourish, given the right circumstances and the willingness to embrace change. And so, with each passing day, the Human-Predator Alliance on Novus grew stronger and more resilient, a testament to the power of friendship, cooperation, and the unbreakable bonds that can form between even the most disparate of species. As the Human-Predator Alliance on Novus continued to thrive and grow, their success did not go unnoticed by the other species in the galaxy. While some saw the alliance as a source of inspiration and hope, others viewed it with suspicion and fear. One such group was the Zorgans, a highly advanced and militaristic species that had long sought to dominate the galaxy through conquest and subjugation. The Zorgans saw the alliance as a direct threat to their power and influence, and they began to plot ways to undermine and destroy it. At first, the Zorgans tried to sow discord and division within the alliance, using spies and saboteurs to spread rumors and misinformation. They hoped to turn the humans and predators against each other, weakening the alliance from within. But Captain Alex Turner and Zorax were not so easily fooled. They had learned to trust and rely on each other, and they quickly saw through the Zorgans' attempts at manipulation. They worked together to root out the infiltrators and expose their schemes, further cementing the bonds of friendship and cooperation between their peoples. Frustrated by their failure, the Zorgans decided to take more drastic action. They began to amass a massive fleet of warships and weapons, preparing for a full-scale invasion of Novus. They were determined to crush the alliance once and for all, and to take the planet and its resources for themselves. When news of the impending attack reached Captain Turner and Zorax, they knew that they had to act fast. They mobilized their own forces, calling on the combined strength and skills of the human and predator warriors. Together, they developed a bold and daring plan to repel the Zorgan invasion. The humans would use their advanced technology to create a network of orbiting defense platforms and early warning systems, while the predators would lead the ground forces in a series of lightning strikes and guerrilla attacks. As the Zorgan fleet approached Novus, the Alliance put their plan into action. The human defense platforms detected the enemy ships and began to engage them with powerful energy weapons, while the Predator warriors launched a series of daring raids on the Zorgan landing craft and supply lines. The battle was fierce and brutal, with both sides suffering heavy losses, but the Alliance fought with a unity and determination that the Zorgans had never encountered before. The humans and Predators worked seamlessly together, their complementary skills and abilities proving to be a formidable match for the Zorgan war machine. In the end, the Alliance emerged victorious, repelling the Zorgan invasion and sending a powerful message to the rest of the galaxy. The Human-Predator Alliance was not to be trifled with, and any attempt to destroy it would be met with swift and decisive action. As the dust settled, and the Alliance began to rebuild and recover, Captain Turner and Zorax knew that their work was far from over. The Zorgan threat had been defeated, but there were sure to be other challenges and dangers waiting for them in the future. But they also knew that they had something that no other species in the galaxy could match: the power of unity and friendship. Together, the humans and predators had accomplished something that had once seemed impossible, and they had proven that there was nothing they could not overcome when they stood together as one. And so, with renewed determination and a sense of purpose, the Human-Predator Alliance looked to the stars, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They knew that they had the strength, the courage, and the bonds of friendship to build a better future for themselves and for all the species of the galaxy. In the wake of their stunning victory over the Zorgans, the Human-Predator Alliance on Novus found themselves at the center of galactic attention. News of their triumph spread like wildfire, and soon species from across the stars were clamoring to learn more about this unlikely partnership. Some saw the alliance as a model for their own societies, a shining example of what could be achieved when different cultures put aside their differences and worked together towards a common goal. They sent envoys and diplomats to Novus, eager to establish ties and learn from the humans and predators. Others, however, were more wary. They saw the alliance as a potential threat, a new power block that could upset the delicate balance of the galaxy. They feared that the humans and predators, emboldened by their success, might seek to expand their influence and dominate other species. Among these skeptics were the Zorgans, still smarting from their defeat at the hands of the Alliance. They began to spread rumors and propaganda, painting the humans and predators as dangerous and untrustworthy. They hoped to turn other species against the Alliance, to isolate and weaken it before it could grow too powerful. But Captain Alex Turner and Zorax were not content to sit back and let others dictate the future of their alliance. They knew that they had to take a proactive approach, to reach out to other species and show them the benefits of cooperation and friendship. They began to organize diplomatic missions and trade delegations, sending their best and brightest to other worlds to establish ties and build relationships. They invited representatives from other species to visit Novus, to see firsthand the wonders that the Human-Predator Alliance had created. At first, progress was slow. Many species were hesitant to trust the humans and predators, still influenced by the Zorgans' propaganda and their own long-held prejudices. But as more and more visitors came to Novus and saw the incredible achievements of the Alliance, attitudes began to shift. Species that had once been bitter enemies began to see each other in a new light, to recognize the potential for cooperation and mutual benefit. They started to form their own alliances and partnerships, inspired by the example set by the humans and predators. As the web of alliances and friendships grew, the galaxy began to change. The old power structures and hierarchies began to crumble, replaced by a new order based on cooperation and shared purpose. The Zorgans and their allies found themselves increasingly isolated, their influence and power waning in the face of this new galactic order. For Captain Turner and Zorax, it was a time of great pride and satisfaction. They had always believed in the power of friendship and unity, and now they were seeing the fruits of their labors on a galactic scale. They knew that there would be challenges and setbacks ahead, but they also knew that they had the strength and the will to overcome them. As they looked out at the stars, at the countless worlds and species that were now part of this new galactic community, they knew that they had accomplished something truly remarkable. They had shown that even the most unlikely of alliances could change the course of history, that even the most entrenched of prejudices could be overcome. And so, with a sense of hope and optimism, the Human-Predator Alliance looked to the future, ready to lead the galaxy into a new era of peace, prosperity, and unity. As the Human-Predator Alliance continued to gain influence and respect throughout the galaxy, they soon caught the attention of an ancient and enigmatic civilization known as the Protheans. The Protheans were a highly advanced species that had once dominated the galaxy, but had mysteriously vanished thousands of years ago, leaving behind only ruins and relics of their once great empire. One day, a Prothean ship suddenly appeared in the skies above Novus, causing widespread panic and confusion among the population. The ship was unlike anything the humans or predators had ever seen before, with sleek, organic lines and advanced technology that seemed to defy the laws of physics. As the ship landed and its occupants emerged, Captain Alex Turner and Zorax were there to greet them, along with a delegation of human and predator leaders. To their surprise, the Protheans were not hostile, but rather curious and intrigued by the alliance that had formed on Novus. The Prothean leader, a tall, slender being with luminous eyes and a regal bearing, introduced himself as Javik. He explained that the Protheans had been watching the alliance from afar, impressed by their ability to overcome their differences and work together towards a common goal. But Javik also brought a dire warning. He told the humans and predators of a great danger that threatened the entire galaxy, a race of sentient machines known as the Reapers. The Reapers, he explained, were an ancient and malevolent force that had destroyed countless civilizations throughout history, including the Protheans themselves. Javik urged the Alliance to prepare for the coming of the Reapers, to use their combined knowledge and resources to find a way to stop them before it was too late. He offered to share the Protheans' advanced technology and knowledge with the Alliance to help them in their fight against the Reapers. Captain Turner and Zorax were initially skeptical of Javik's warning, but as they delved deeper into the Prothean archives and studied the evidence he presented, they began to realize the gravity of the situation. They knew that they could not afford to ignore this threat, not when the fate of the entire galaxy hung in the balance. And so, the Human-Predator Alliance began to mobilize once again, this time with the help of their new Prothean allies. They poured their resources into researching the Reapers and developing new weapons and defenses to use against them. They sent out scouts and spies to gather intelligence on the Reapers' movements and plans, hoping to find a weakness that they could exploit. As they worked tirelessly to prepare for the coming conflict, Captain Turner and Zorax knew that they were facing their greatest challenge yet. The Reapers were an enemy unlike any they had ever faced before, a race of machines that had no concept of mercy or compassion, only a relentless drive to consume and destroy. But they also knew that they had something that the Reapers did not: the power of unity and friendship. The Human-Predator Alliance had already accomplished the impossible, had already overcome countless obstacles and challenges through their shared bond of trust and cooperation. And so, as the galaxy held its breath and the Reapers drew ever closer, the Alliance stood ready to face the darkness, to fight for the survival of all the species and civilizations that called the galaxy home. They knew that the road ahead would be long and hard, that there would be sacrifices and losses along the way. But they also knew that they had each other, that they had the strength and the courage to face whatever lay ahead together. And with that knowledge, they looked to the stars, ready to meet their destiny head-on, and to forge a new future for the galaxy, one free from the shadow of the Reapers. The final battle against the Reapers was a desperate and brutal affair, a struggle for survival that would determine the fate of the entire galaxy. The Human-Predator Alliance, bolstered by their Prothean allies and the combined might of countless other species, threw everything they had at the enemy, fighting with a ferocity and determination that stunned even the Reapers themselves. Captain Alex Turner and Zorax led the charge, rallying their forces and leading them into battle against impossible odds. They fought side by side, human and predator, their bond of friendship and trust stronger than ever in the face of this ultimate test. The Reapers were a formidable foe, their technology and firepower far beyond anything the Alliance had ever faced before. They seemed invincible, indestructible, their massive ships and armies cutting a swath of destruction across the galaxy. But the Alliance would not be defeated so easily. They fought with everything they had, using every weapon and tactic at their disposal. They unleashed devastating barrages of firepower from their ships and stations, while on the ground, human and predator warriors fought side by side, their skills and strengths perfectly complemented. The Protheans, too, proved invaluable allies, their ancient technology and knowledge giving the Alliance a crucial edge in the fight. They provided advanced shields and weapons, as well as intel on the Reapers' weaknesses and strategies. The battle raged for days, then weeks, then months, with neither side giving an inch. The casualties were horrific, the destruction unimaginable, but still the Alliance fought on, driven by the knowledge that failure was not an option. And then, in a final desperate gambit, Captain Turner and Zorax led a small team of their most skilled warriors on a daring mission to strike at the heart of the Reaper fleet. They fought their way through hordes of enemy drones and soldiers, battling their way to the central command ship. There, in a final climactic confrontation, they faced off against the Reaper leader itself, a monstrous machine of unimaginable power and malice. The battle was fierce and brutal, but in the end, the Alliance prevailed, destroying the Reaper leader and sending its fleet into disarray. With the Reaper threat finally vanquished, the galaxy erupted into celebration, the Alliance hailed as heroes and saviors. The sacrifices had been immense, the losses staggering, but in the end, they had achieved the impossible, had saved the galaxy from a fate worse than death. In the aftermath of the war, the Alliance set about rebuilding and healing, working to create a new galactic order based on the principles of cooperation and unity that had served them so well in the fight against the Reapers. Captain Turner and Zorax, now hailed as the greatest heroes of their generation, continued to lead the Alliance, guiding the galaxy into a new era of peace and prosperity. Their bond of friendship, forged in the crucible of war, would endure for the rest of their lives, a shining example of what could be achieved when different species put aside their differences and worked together for the common good. And so, as the galaxy began to heal and rebuild, the legend of the Human-Predator Alliance only grew, inspiring countless generations to come. The story of their bravery and sacrifice, of their unwavering commitment to each other and to the greater good, would be told and retold across the stars, a shining beacon of hope and unity in a galaxy that had once seemed so dark and divided. The Human-Predator Alliance had achieved something that had once seemed impossible, had brought peace and prosperity to a galaxy on the brink of destruction. And in doing so, they had shown that even the greatest of challenges could be overcome, that even the darkest of times could give way to a brighter future, as long as there were those willing to fight for it.